he 50 is in a rare position as an artist. You got to understand, 50 has the benefit of Eminem's audience, which are white people who don't, a lot of them that don't necessarily mess with black culture anyways, but they mess with him solely because of the relationship with Eminem.
Real life. If it ain't real life, it ain't happening.
It ain't real life. Just ain't real life street stars. You know what time it is.
Real life street stars, man. We in here with Benzino, man. Got him
Yeah,
back.
we back, baby.
We back, man, and we had to grab you, man. Man, I just got off watching a 4-part series on Netflix.
Right, right.
Right, man, and I was like, man, they mentioned the source, and I was like, man, gotta get Benzino take on it, man.
You know it's
You were there.
crazy. You
You
know
were
it's
there,
crazy.
bro.
You know it's crazy because every major movie documentary always has a source piece in it. You notice that?
Right.
You know, the Biggie one, the Pac one, NWA. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And yeah, of course, um, per se, because of the Source magazine, I was around a lot, and we did a lot of business with Diddy when it comes to Bad Boys. With advertisement, got a lot of history with him as far as the Source Awards and that whole situation. But yeah, you know, I watched the documentary, man. I couldn't watch all of it because I just I was in and out. I was getting frustrated. I was really getting frustrated as I was watching it.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So you said you couldn't watch it all. Before we get into, everything about it, did you think that they did a good job? The documentary people, do you think that they did a good job?
Well, I mean that's a vague question.
Okay.
I think the only part of the documentary that was interesting to me, or
Okay.
I'm sure that probably this was the only part that actually got the deal, was the behind the scenes footage of when Diddy was going to go to jail. Now that's the thing I want to kind of focus on right now. We
Okay.
do know that he obviously okayed that footage, whoever was filming. Now that's the $1 million question, is who actually was filming that footage. And I'm surprised they haven't came forward yet, especially for an interview in today's world. Whoever was filming that footage had the trust of Diddy, obviously, right? I mean, it's common sense. Um,
Right.
for somebody to kind of, I've been through a lot of legal problems, and those moments leading up, especially my federal trial. I've been a part of some murder investigations and all kinds of stuff, back in Boston. And anything that's leading up to a trial is always nervous moments. Those are private moments, and you're not going to see too many people let you into their world, into the most vulnerable state at that point. Very rare you're going to see that. Not too many people even want that out. So whoever filmed that, Puff had trust in,
Right.
and somehow that trust got broken. Somehow, whether Diddy didn't pay the man, whether the man stole the footage, whether the man, I've been in situations even with Source Awards footage where one of the producers ran off with the footage and wouldn't give the final footage because of some bullshit. I mean, there's always something when it comes to somebody filming footage, and if you don't have the proper paperwork when they're filming it, then you run into problems and difficulties later. I'm sure a lot of people know what I'm talking about when it comes to camera people, footage producers. I just know that, first of all, I knew for a fact that because you didn't hear about how much money 50 got for the Netflix special, I knew something was peculiar. Because in today's world, that's the first thing that goes out. He got 30 million, he got 20 million, he got 50 million, he got that never even came out. So that shows me there wasn't too much money involved.
Mm.
And the reason I say that is because I'm sure Netflix is a very smart company. They knew that Diddy was going to be coming after him about that footage and about making a documentary about him and and his intellectual property, which is his life, his brand, himself, and him not making any money out of it. You just didn't, with 50 in today's clout chasing world, you just never heard about how much he made from Netflix. And that's what told me that he wasn't really trying to do it for the money. It was just a vendetta.
Right. 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 Um. So the vendetta, you think? I mean, do you feel like it runs this deep, or do you?
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. I mean, come on, like listen, the baby mother. his son is of age, and every time I'm sure he sees his son, this is the only thing that comes to mind, and I'm sure he knows his son is of age to even know what's going on. So yeah, I think that's a problem in his mental when it comes to his son and what happened with Diddy and the son's mother. Um, he comes across as a very jealous man of other black men. For him to go to that lengths, and the disappointing thing is that this piece really, I seen something on CNN where some white man got on there and said, "Man, this is what the prosecution needed. This is the dark side that they needed to see. They needed to see this part of Diddy." And I'm sure if they would have seen this, that all the jurors would have made up their minds. And it's like, you see, in the hood, we don't do that. We don't do that. I mean, what's the difference of all this exposure about snitching? What is that? To take that footage that was private of Diddy, that I'm sure he only him knew about it. He had it okay. And Diddy's very calculated. And for another black man to show that. I've never seen 50 um go at any white man yet, as far as to the lengths that he goes at. This ain't the first black man that he's went at. And went at very hard lengths. We're talking about guys in his group. We're talking about guys on his TV shows. I mean, it never stops. Diddy was he just caught the worst of it, the worst of a man that has definitely anger issues and jealousy issues over other men.
Mm, mm. Ugh. And they alluded that they kept alluding in the documentary that Diddy was the one who got Pac killed.
Listen, there's a man right now that's sitting in jail, that's sitting right now in the Las Vegas prison about this Tupac situation.
Right. So
Okay, all right. So, like, first of all, again, we don't do that. We don't. You can call it dry snitching. He's just trying to throw a bone out there for other people to get on. Like, we've seen 1,000,001 Tupac documentaries about that. All right. There's a lot of people involved with that, right? Diddy hasn't been charged with that. Diddy hasn't been indicted on that. As far as I'm concerned, I'm sure he's been investigated. I'm sure the police looked into all that. But at the end of the day, we don't do that. We don't just bring that up out the blue. What does that have to do with the situation? What's going on with him now? And I just, man, that's just foul. And anybody, you got two types of people out here. You got to understand, man. 50's audience, he 50 is in a rare position as an artist. You got to understand, 50 has the benefit of Eminem's audience, which are white people who don't, a lot of them that don't necessarily mess with black culture anyways, but they mess with him solely because of the relationship with Eminem. He's like the one black guy, like the one black friend that's allowed. Like when you watch all these movies and there's like the one black guy with all the white people, that's him.
mm,
And he plays to them. He knows how that works as narratives in the internet. He knows that they're going to support him on the internet, and it makes it look like the entire community. But niggas ain't with this. Excuse me, black folks in the community ain't with this. They're not
right.
with this. They can't be with this. You see, they don't live that lifestyle we do. You know what I'm saying? So they don't understand. These are outsiders looking in, and a lot of them don't mess with black people, period. But he gets the benefit of that. And they're the ones that hype him up and push the narrative and comment and click. They don't mind if he goes at another black man. They don't care. They'd rather him do that. So when he does his things, he knows he's going to get the support of them. And any black person that really supports this needs to check themselves. Anybody that says, "Oh, great, amazing documentary," what's so amazing about a documentary that had nothing in it but a bunch of old footage? They had Kirk Burroughs, who at one point, if all this was going on, when Kirk was getting all that money with Diddy, he surely didn't say nothing. A lot of this is all about money. Now, granted, Diddy need to take care of his people, because he would have a lot of his problems if he would spread that love around with that money, and that's his problem. You know, that's his mistake. Because even the guy that was shooting the camera, if you would have took care of him, paid for the footage right there, then everything would have been straight, and 50 wouldn't have got the footage. That's his mistake. Okay,
Right.
Diddy got to start. If he would have took care of Rod, if he would have took care of Cassie, like if he would have took care of these people financially, like he should have, the ones that need it, not the ones that be bitching and moaning, because the ones that are on there, the Mark Currys, the Kirk Burrows, they've been doing this for the last hundreds of years. So this is not this ain't new. You know what I'm saying? The Gene Dale, this ain't new. Shout out to
Right.
Roger Bonds. That's my guy. Roger Bonds has had history with Diddy. If Diddy would have took care of Roger Bonds, then Roger wouldn't feel this way. You got people that was loyal to Diddy that Diddy did not take care of. And this is the situation that he's in now. But when you do things based on money, then it brings your character in question to say, well, you wasn't saying all this shit before all this.
Right.
So I understand both sides.
Shout out Reallyfe Street Stars, nigga. Move it. Hey.